Hello YouTube. I'm going to do a video on my off-road camping trailer that I built a while back all by myself. And the main goal for this was to do a cheap build, a cheap trailer that I could tow behind my Jeep. My budget was right around $1,000. Reason for this because I have 2 kids and 2 dogs, so anytime we want to go camping, definitely going to need more storage, and most of the time we go camping it's on some trails. So I'm like, hey, let's build a trailer that I can tow behind the Jeep, hit the trails, and you know, kind of like an overland trailer, but I didn't want to go too far, you know, didn't want to get crazy with it. I wanted it to be, you know, cheap, affordable, and just do the job. So I have about $800 in it. Let me go ahead and do a little walk around of it. So the actual base is 4x6, and I made it long enough so I could open the hatch of the Jeep and have plenty of room to get stuff inside the Jeep. I guess I'll backtrack a little bit. If you're thinking about building your own trailer, because you're looking at them and you're realizing that they're $5 to $6 grand or more, and you're thinking about building a trailer, it's definitely doable. You'll need some type of welding skills. You'll need a welder or a friend that has a welder, and some fabrication skills to do it. This is one of my first big projects I've ever made. I'm nowhere near a professional, but this actually turned out pretty good. So I'd say give it a shot. It's not too hard to do. But let's do a little look around. So the main frame is 2-inch steel square stock. If I had to do it again, I'd go with 1.5. Definitely 1.5, just to bring down the weight a little bit. This isn't super heavy, but with a 2-inch steel, it's heavier than I'd like. I wasn't sure strength-wise how much I'd need, but this thing's definitely overbuilt. So I made the frame and went from there. You know, I'm not going to go over exactly how to build it because there's thousands of different ways online. There's so many resources, but just showing you that, you know, what I built. So pretty much everything is steel. The top, the body, the frame, and I stole a lot of Jeep parts to build this. So this rear, sorry, ignore this, I'm still finding a way to make that. The rear tailgate is from a CJ, and got the two latches right there from Ace Hardware. Welded those on. A lot of the stuff that I had to weld on, this is, you know, zinc coated, so it really doesn't like to weld to steel that well, but you know, it worked. Those are the hinges from the CJ, so that drops down. I have it locked up now, so I can get stuff in the back, or I can open the lid to go inside. I just helped a friend move out from their store, so this is a bunch of crap. But on the inside, you know, I have tie downs as well as 2 tie downs. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. As the lid, the struts are from a Cherokee, so you can get those at a junkyard. Welded the little support struts there. I only needed 1. If I ever do put a rooftop tent on top, I'll probably need 2, but I mean, it holds up a good amount. So plenty of room to carry camping equipment here. Eventually I'll weld some posts and do a rooftop tent, but right now that's out of the budget. As for the latches, it's got some latches on Amazon that latch it down. Got 2 of those. Welded those on, as well as a lock so I can lock the lid. Fenders, these are MCE fenders, but pretty much any Jeep plastic fenders will work. I mean, you don't even have to have fenders. So as you can tell, a lot of this is budgeted, just to help bring the cost down. Wheels and tires are from a factory JK, you know, wheels. Those are, if you're in a Jeep club or go to Craigslist. These things are dirt cheap. The axle got super cheap. It's a Cherokee rear axle, and I got it for free. The pinion bearing was toast, so I took the ring and pinion out and welded a plate over where the pinion would be, just so it doesn't leak, you know, fluid everywhere, gear oil. Downside to using an actual axle is that it's going to be a little bit heavier than a trailer axle, but once again, if you're looking to do this on a budget, it's definitely a viable option. I used wheel adapters for the to go from a Cherokee to a JK wheels. The reason I did JK wheels is because they're easier to find. You can always buy them. People are selling them new for really cheap, and I tow it with my Wrangler, so I guess I could use as a spare. Use my spare on this. Leaf springs are from a CJ, as well as the leaf spring hangers, and shocks are from a JK. So used a lot of Jeep parts to build this. Tail lights, just standard trailer tail lights. Cut a hole out, and yeah, let's continue. What else? For the tongue box, mounted the tongue box down. Have a little solar panel light. Got that on, or not solar panel light, solar panel charger. Going to an Optima deep cycle marine battery, and I have an inverter in there. Like I said, this is not done, so I'm still, I'm gonna have this, have the inverter mounted. There's some switches in here for exterior lights, all that stuff. Got the jack. I went with the pintle hook setup just because it's going to allow more articulation on the trails. It's cheap, and it's really not that loud. I mean, you can hear it clanking on the trails, but it's not horrible. Better than I thought, and it's a little bit safer than a ball, especially if you're going to take this off-road. If you are planning on to make your own trailer, look into your state's laws for home-built trailers. And here in Virginia, it's super easy. I went to the DMV, applied for a VIN, put the VIN sticker on it, and registered it. No inspection or anything. But it's definitely a project you can do yourself if you can weld. If you have a buddy that knows how to weld, plan it out. Buy all the steel at once. Try to find your ideal weight, because you don't want to be towing a huge heavy pig. 4x6 in my opinion's pretty large. If I was doing it again, I'd do 3x5, just because in my mind 4x6 didn't seem so big, but this thing is a lot bigger than I thought, but that's not a problem. It tows behind the Wrangler real well, tracks straight. Whenever you're making your frame, make sure you're square, make sure everything's square. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to have a trailer that tracks weird down the road. For all the panel welding, I just did little stitch welds because I didn't want to fill the whole thing with welds. I tried spraying some of that Flex Seal stuff in here so it looks like crap. I'd recommend using some RTV or something, because when I sprayed that, trying to seal up the cracks, because I didn't want to make a continuous weld, it looks horrible. People look at it and like, oh dude, those are some horrible welds. Well, it's not the weld, it's the the Flex Seal that I sprayed. So yeah. What else? If you go looking around at a junkyard, you could even do a YJ drop down tailgate. You can pick those up, the leaf springs, tires, axle, all that stuff. You can get dirt cheap at a junkyard, or at a Jeep Facebook for sale page or whatnot. Go buy your steel from a steel supply store, and the only things else you'll need to buy are the latches, the hinges, the jack, pintle hook, and tail, tongue box. And you can easily do this for under $700, $800. Granted, it's a lot of work, but I'd say it's worth it. It's definitely a lot of fun to have your own trailer, and it works good. Let me show you one thing. What I did do is I made it so this lid is removable in case I do need to take it off and use it as a utility trailer. I'd simply take the yeah, whatever you want to call that. Take that off. And the hinges I got, you know, one side, focus in on it a little bit better. One side, this was welded to here, this one's welded to the base, and had that set up both on the same sides so I can get two people and lift it up, slide it out of the hinges, and it's boom, removed. This, I need to take this off. It's just to prevent the water, if it rains, to run down and go inside the crack into there. I need to figure out a better way to do that. I'll probably just weld a piece of, you know, a steel lip over here so the water drains down. But you know, like I said, it's still a work in progress. But in my opinion, it's a lot better than paying a company $6 grand, $7 grand for a off-road trailer. You know, I could throw a rooftop tent on there and this thing would be under $2 grand. Works well. You know, I'll throw some more videos out there if you guys are interested. If you have any questions, just throw them in the comments. And you know, once this stuff's all out of there, I'd like to flip it up so I can show you how I made the frame. You know, go into a little more detail about how I actually made this. So yeah, leave a comment, let me know if you have any questions, and subscribe to see future videos on this, and I'll take some videos of it off-road as well. Alright guys, take care.